August 13, 2026, the medical community is witnessing massive breakthroughs in neuroscience, oncology, and weight loss therapeutics alongside a regulatory crackdown on digital health fraud. This complete video script is structured to provide an engaging, comprehensive update on the most impactful healthcare developments globally. Today's global medical news. Segment 1, the brain's craving center and the next GLP-1 wave. Welcome back to the channel. If you think the Ozempic revolution was just about losing weight, think again. New research published today has officially blown the doors off what we know about addiction, habit loops, and human willpower. The lateral septum discovery. For years, patients taking GLP-1 agonists noticed a bizarre side effect: their cravings for alcohol, nicotine, and even compulsive shopping completely vanished. Scientists at major research institutions have finally mapped this effect directly to a brain region called the lateral septum. This area links memory with emotional response. By dampening the dopamine spikes associated with environmental cues, these drugs are actively rewriting how the brain handles addiction. The new once-daily pill, aleniglipron, while injectables dominate the market, clinical data released this week highlights a powerful shift toward oral small-molecule alternatives. The experimental pill aleniglipron demonstrated a staggering 12.1% reduction in body weight over just 36 weeks. Because it is a small molecule rather than a peptide, it bypasses the strict fasting requirements of first-generation oral options, promising to dramatically scale global manufacturing and accessibility. Segment 2, FDA breakthroughs and unexpected oncology setbacks. Shifting focus to clinical approvals, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, has delivered a mixed bag of historic greenlights and frustrating manufacturing roadblocks this week. Tudrikev approved for advanced melanoma. The FDA granted accelerated approval to Tudrikev, vuselimagine odoperifect WTPG, a genetically modified oncolytic viral therapy developed by Replimune. When combined with the immunotherapy nivolumab, this treatment programs a virus to selectively infiltrate and rupture unresectable advanced cutaneous melanoma cells, sparking a massive immune response against the remaining tumors. The IDM11 radioligand rejection. In a surprising twist, the FDA issued a complete response letter rejecting the highly anticipated cancer treatment superscript 1 luidotriotide, IDM11, for neuroendocrine tumors. What makes this frustrating for clinicians is that the rejection had nothing to do with clinical efficacy or safety. The COMPETE trial showed the radioligand achieved 23.9 months of progression-free survival compared to just 14.1 months for the standard care everolimus. Instead, the rejection stems entirely from third-party facility manufacturing and chemistry control lapses, forcing Isotope Technologies Munich to pause and resubmit their data. Targeted radionuclide trio for prostate cancer. Simultaneously, data published in The Lancet from Weill Cornell Medicine and Memorial Sloan Kettering confirms that moving targeted radionuclide therapies earlier into the care cycle for PSMA-positive metastatic prostate cancer significantly delays disease progression, rewriting standard oncological guidelines. Segment 3, Neurological defeating of Parkinson's and organ regeneration. Let's pivot to physical neurology, where engineering and biology are converging to heal previously permanent brain and bone damage. Unlocking the hidden rhythm of Parkinson's, deep brain stimulation, DBS, has long been a lifeline for Parkinson's patients, but fine-tuning the electrical impulses has been a game of clinical trial and error. This week, scientists discovered a hidden brain network rhythm that acts as the universal blueprint for successful DBS adjustments. This distinct electrical signature will allow upcoming neurological implants to adapt dynamically in real time, automatically quashing tremors before they emerge. Astrocytes repairing the adult brain. In a major upset to long-standing medical dogmas claiming the adult brain cannot repair itself, researchers using animal models discovered that a subset of support cells called astrocytes can actively transform and rebuild lost cellular networks following physical trauma or stroke. Sheep's wool to regrow bone. On the regenerative medicine front, bioengineers have successfully extracted keratin from sheep's wool to build highly organized structural scaffolds. When implanted into damaged skeletal areas, this keratin structure guided the growth of natural bone tissue that was significantly stronger and more uniform than traditional collagen alternatives, unlocking a cheap, highly scalable resource for orthopedic surgeries. Segment 4, the AI Frontier: Diagnostic Triumphs versus Dangerous Deepfakes. We cannot talk about 2026 medicine without talking about artificial intelligence. This week, we are looking at a dual reality. AI is outperforming human clinicians in data analysis, but it's also being weaponized by bad actors to exploit vulnerable patients. UCLA's new multi-cancer blood test. Researchers at UCLA have unveiled an advanced liquid biopsy blood test powered by AI machine learning. This test scans minute DNA signals in the bloodstream to not only flag multiple early-stage cancers and liver diseases before any physical symptoms manifest, but it also accurately maps the precise organ where the abnormality originated. AI versus human doctors in consultations. A landmark study published on News Medical Life Sciences evaluated AI performance in simulated clinical video consultations. The results were striking. The AI demonstrated superior diagnostic precision and holistic metric tracking compared to its human counterparts, underscoring the rapid evolution of digital primary care companions. The threat of medfluencer deepfakes. Conversely, investigative reports from Europe highlight an alarming surge in sophisticated AI medical deepfakes. Scammers are generating thousands of hyper-realistic videos utilizing the faces and voices of trusted medical personalities to sell dangerous, unapproved miracle cures for diabetes, arthritis, and hypertension. In several severe cases, patients completely abandoned their life-saving prescriptions for these fraudulent supplements, prompting warnings from the World Health Organization and tech regulators. Segment 5, Global Health Under Climate and Public Health Stress. Finally, let's look at the systemic health challenges unfolding across the globe right now, from extreme climate strain to shifting localized medical frameworks. Extreme thermal stress alerts. Severe weather is triggering immediate public health interventions. The Luxembourg government issued an official orange heat alert, warning of intense thermal stress with temperatures climbing up to 37 degrees Celsius. Public health officials warn that sustained elevated overnight temperatures, up to 21 degrees Celsius, are limiting human physical cooling recovery, spiking admissions for severe heat exhaustion across Western Europe. Asia-Pacific parliamentarians in universal coverage. In Cambodia, leaders representing 16 nations closed the 9th meeting of the Asia-Pacific Parliamentarian Forum on Global Health. The resulting Phnom Penh communique calls for massive legislative funding overhauls to strengthen universal health coverage in response to the simultaneous, escalating risks of climate-driven disease migration and unregulated healthcare AI deployment. The cross-practice medical debate in India. Structurally, the Medical Dialogues Network highlights fierce ongoing clinical debate regarding a recent policy allowing homeopathy, BHMS, graduates who complete a brief bridge course to prescribe modern allopathic medicines. Mainstream medical bodies continue to raise serious patient safety concerns, arguing that a brief certificate program cannot replicate the extensive clinical diagnostic exposure of a full MBBS medical degree. Symptoms of dengue fever. Symptoms, which usually begin 4 to 10 days after infection, may include high fever, headache, pain behind the eyes, joint, bone, and muscle pain, nausea, vomiting, skin rash. Sometimes, symptoms are mild and easy to mistake for those of the flu or another viral infection. Younger children and people who have never had dengue fever before tend to have milder cases than older children and adults. Sometimes, mild cases can become more severe and turn into dengue hemorrhagic fever. It's a rare complication with symptoms such as intense stomach pain, vomiting that doesn't stop, bleeding from the nose and gums, blood in your pee, poop, or vomit, bleeding under your skin, like a bruise, difficulty breathing or breathing very quickly, tiredness, Feeling restless or irritable. WebMD. Lifestyle factors. The experience is consistent with international evidence highlighting the influence of lifestyle on exceptional longevity. Contributing factors include a healthy diet rich in minimally processed foods, fruits, vegetables, and lean protein, a simple, peaceful life free from chronic stress, regular physical activity well into older age, and faith and spirituality, which may contribute to emotional resilience. Medscape. Tuberculosis, TB, vaccine. After decades of stalled progress, tuberculosis, TB, vaccine development is gaining momentum, with 18 candidates now in clinical development and several in or approaching late-stage trials. The pipeline includes vaccines designed to prevent TB disease in adolescents and adults, replace Bacillus calmette-guerin, BCG, in early life immunization, and prevent recurrence after TB treatment. Among the most advanced candidates is M72/AS01E, now in a phase 3 trial involving 20,000 adolescents and adults at 54 sites worldwide. Serum Institute of India Private Limited has been selected to manufacture the vaccine if the trial supports further development and approval, addressing a key practical hurdle for a candidate that could become the first new TB vaccine in more than a century. Medscape. Segment 6, Closing and Community Discussion. Host, from tracking addiction cravings to the lateral septum, to engineering bone from sheep's wool, medicine is moving faster than ever, but the rise of AI deepfakes proves we have to be more vigilant than ever about where we get our health information. Which of today's medical breakthroughs do you think will have the biggest impact on everyday health? Let me know in the comments below, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next update. Disclaimer: compiled information. This content is for educational purposes and is not a substitute for professional advice. The audience must verify the contents before use. The creator, publisher, and YouTube will not be responsible for any harm.